Greetings! Welcome to my kitchen table. So, I decided I wanted to try something different with these videos. A regular schedule obviously doesn't work for me. I never follow it, I never like it, and I never meet it. Ambiance. So, I decided I'm just going to make a video whenever I have something worth making a video about. So, that brings us to a little bit of a story time. I am in Laramie, Wyoming right now, and I moved about 3 months ago, but this successful move was my second attempt. I did try first to take a 44-hour Greyhound trip across the United States from New Jersey to Wyoming. Didn't work out, as you can imagine, and as a result, I lost a suitcase that has a lot of really important shit to me. So, today, I've been planning this trip for a while, and it is time to embark on a quest for my suitcase. Which means I've got hotels booked, Greyhound booked, we're gonna do it right this time, and I've got plans in order to go to Denver, about 3.5 hours or so south of here. I'm gonna go to the Greyhound station, and I'm gonna do my best to track down my suitcase. And that might lead us to it, or it might give me some closure knowing that I tried my best. Additionally, I just wanted to visit Denver, and my friend June Cleavage, a fellow drag queen, she's originally from Louisiana, and she recently moved to Denver. She has her second show here in the Mountain Time Zone. It's at Mile High Comics tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and I can't wait. I wanted to go see Mile High Comics anyway. Additionally, I'm going to take you along as I explore the Denver Museum of Nature and Science and the Denver Zoo. So it's going to be a fun weekend for me. I am going completely by myself because I am a firm believer that in order to have fun with other people, you have to be able to have fun by yourself. You have to be able to enjoy your own company. And that's something that I have been doing for a while, but not doing correctly. I enjoy my own company, but it is not in a healthy way. So, I'm going to take you along for this. I'm going to show you the bus ride, some of it anyway. I'm going to bring you to the hotel. I'm going to show you the zoo and the museum. I'm going to show you as much of the drag show as I'm allowed to show you, and we're going to have a good time. I'm excited. And 2 of my friends are giving me a ride to and from the bus stop, so I'm also going to hunt down some gifts for them. Maybe in the gift shop, maybe not. I don't know. It'll be fun. I've been here roughly 3 months now, working my ass off and just trying to make ends meet. And you know what? I think it's high time that we had an adventure. So let's do it. So first things first, it's time to get packing. I have not packed at all, and I have to leave for my bus in about an hour and a half, give or take. Let's do our best, shall we? Got the jacket I'm wearing, I'm dressed in everything else I'm wearing, and let's put this all in a backpack. Alright, bag is packed. I am just about ready. Appliances are unplugged. House is as clean as it's gonna get. I think it's just about time to go. Side note, and for legal purposes, this is totally a joke. I'm stealing so many toiletries from this hotel. Nice. Any semblance of vlogging is very strange for me, but I'm finally in my room. There we go. Hello. First of all, that was a fun bus ride. Second of all, I don't like cities, and I was reminded of that fact today. But I'm not complaining because take a look. I love this room. If my bedroom looked like this, if my house looked like this, I'd be sad, to be quite honest. Hang on, look at the bathroom. Look at this toilet flusher. It juts out of the wall. Erect plumbing. Love that. And the shower. I'm a filthy person, and I will be using this shower. Do with that what you will. Microwave in the fridge, turn the fuck up. I'm going to look in there and see if anybody else left behind anything fun. It's Denver, so probably drugs. Bed. And get ready for this shit. Get ready for this shit. It's a corner. This is easily the greatest view I have ever had in a hotel room, period. I know it's not a lot, but just the positioning is so cool. Hi, it's me. Hello, me. This shit is cool. I don't know what the fuck this is. Overall, isn't this cool? I'm gonna just walk around this room, blinds open, ass out. Can't wait. They even put a fucking Keurig in here. That's nice. I'm fucking know. But a Keurig and this massive fucking TV, which I have no intention of using, but I'm glad it's there. To be honest with you, I do not go places very often, and I've been trying to change that. I want to travel and voyaging and questing to become more of a feature of my life, so this is a nice foray into that. And this wasn't like an expensive hotel or anything. It's a Holiday Inn Express. It was fine. Things are just cheap because I'm by myself. So I'm gonna eat the taco that I got 5 hours ago. And then tomorrow we will try and track down my suitcase. I tried tonight already. The information desk was closed, obviously, but now I have an address and a phone number to work with that the lady at the front desk gave to me. She was very sweet and very cool, and I loved her earrings. So it must be good advice. So I'm going to try my best to track that down tomorrow, but tomorrow remains a big day otherwise, because it is the day I want to go to the museum, I want to go to the zoo, and I want to go see my friend's drag show at the comic book store that I also want to look at. So, big day. I'm excited. When I do a trip, I don't fuck around, okay? I make sure that everything I want to do gets done. If only I could apply that to my actual real life. That's me, I guess. So, good night. So, you may be wondering why I think my suitcase is in Denver in the first place. Well, for that, I'll give you a little bit of background. So when I first tried to make this move and tried to take the 44-hour Greyhound across the country, it was almost a straight shot. Almost. There were a couple stops and breaks, but the only transfer was in Denver. So my theory, and I don't know very much about buses or trains or anything, but I figured I wanted to come to Denver anyway, so I might as well take a look. My theory is that if my lost suitcase remained on the bus when I was supposed to be transferring here, because this was the only transfer where I was going to have to move it myself. There was one transfer in Pittsburgh, which is where I got off, and that was just a transfer from one bus to the other. It was still technically more or less a straight shot. It wasn't like switching routes. This was switching routes in Denver. So they told us when we got off at Pittsburgh that it was going to be, the luggage was going to be taken care of for us. Denver is the only place where we were expected to retrieve and move our luggage ourselves. Specifically the undercarriage stuff. Obviously the stuff we brought on we were doing ourselves. It's a Sunday morning and I'm across the street from a church. It's like a really pretty church, but I am kind of shocked by how empty it looks. Maybe everybody's already inside? Maybe church is canceled? I don't know. It's a church in downtown Denver. It certainly seems out of place. So anyway, my theory is that if my suitcase is anywhere that I can reach, it's probably gonna be here. And there's a good chance that I still won't find it, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try. I'm here anyway. I've tried calling the Greyhound bus station already here. It is in the same place as Union Station, so now, since there was no answer, I'm going to have to continue to try to call throughout the day because the information desk isn't even open yet. And frankly, while that is the primary mission for being here, a bitch also needs a vacation. So I'm going to the museum and I'm going to the zoo and I'm going to take you along and it'll be fun. And then we'll deal with the suitcase if we are meant to find it. That's not saying I'm not taking a proactive approach. I just know that there's only so much I can do. So I'm going to continue to call and we'll see if anything can come of it. My Greyhound tomorrow back home isn't until noon, so I'll have the entire morning to go back and track it down. I can get there nice and early. So, in the meantime, today is exciting. Like I said, we're gonna go to the museum first, then we're gonna walk through City Park over to the zoo, and then I'm gonna head over to Mile High Comics and look around. Then while at Mile High Comics, after they close, I'm gonna see their all ages drag show with my friend June in it. And I'm very excited. And it's gonna be fucking litty titty, I'll tell you right now. I took out singles from the bank just for this such occasion. I can see a pride flag on one of the apartment balconies across the street, so seems like a good spot. In any case, it is what it is, and we are going to do our best. So, let's start the day, shall we? Yeah. What's really funny is that I am reading a compilation of a translation of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and Ani's name does come up a couple times. It's a compilation of his and a couple other scribes who all recorded it, which is cool. Fun fact. Trans-inclusion realms. since living in the West for as long as I have now, just 3 months, but still, is that you always hear about Native Americans all over America. It's part of our history, and obviously it's been whitewashed severely so we don't look as much like the monsters that we are. But I've never met a lot of indigenous people until I moved out west. It's like we really grabbed the East Coast by the balls and didn't let go, huh? It's disappointing and interesting. Anyway, I'm glad to have met a lot of the people that I have now. Wish they had more exhibits like this. This is my new favorite game. Honestly sane. quick update. After more discussions with various Greyhound employees, all of whom I'm sure are underpaid and doing the best that they can, and under tremendous amounts of stress from assholes like me, I still haven't found my suitcase because it's not in Denver. It was most likely sent to the warehouse in Dallas. So I'm going to try and get on the phone with corporate later on today, see if I can get them to send it to me, and if not, we may be planning another trip before they try to auction it off. Woo! But the zoo is fun. Oh, bummer. I was looking for the Just Okay apes. I am queen of the stream. Wait, take that back. Quite like ducks. Hi, ducks. Oh, me too. Me too, honey. Okay, minus the netting all over the place, this is what my house is gonna look like one day. Maybe the backyard, maybe the garden, maybe just the house. Hi guys, just a quick nap. This guy's name is Saint, and he is just the best. Hi, honey. Hello. You look very handsome. These are the most beautiful lace fronts I've ever seen. Yes, me and the boys hanging out in the winter home. Which gay bar was that? I think I performed in there. If this exhibit doesn't end up being all chameleons, I'm gonna be so sad. Oh my god. Carl Weiser found scalped. Look at this monarch. This absolute lord. Hi. It's a chill day for everyone today. If you would let me rub that tummy, I swear to God, you would not regret it. We have actually a fair amount of emu farms in New Jersey, so this does kind of remind me of home. Used to pass by one on the way to school every day. Nice job. Gorgeous. If I could take you home with me, I absolutely would. Huh? Me, work diva. This is what I look like in patterned leggings. That's not true. You're doing it way better than I could. You're doing it way better than I ever could. The zoo was fun. And now for the other reason why we came.
Your memory is ecstasy. I miss you more than life. Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. I need more time, but time can't be borrowed.
You say I'm held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe legends never die. I say your name, but you're not around. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling. I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most.
You can bring them on up, but most importantly, have a safe rest of your Sunday evening. Get home safe, and we'll see you on December 26th. Bye, everybody!
Hi, June Bugs, it's me, June Cleavage, right here at Mile High Comics, right after my second drag performance in Denver. And what is this? What could this be? Could this be Daisy Mays?
Oh, God.
Who came all the way from Wyoming? Came all the way from Lear in Wyoming just to see me. I'm so glad you're here. Everybody say hi. Say hi, Daisy.
Say hello to me.
Ew.
Oh, no, I swear to God.
Okay, bye. We love you.
Oh my. Whatever could this possible sign of gore and duress be here? Oh, it's not gore. I know what it is. It's just whore. Nothing. Everybody say hi to June Cleavage.
My basement.
I live in a basement, so I feel. Whenever I take a shower in a place where I'm not paying for water, gratuitous does not even begin to cover what I do in there. Also, I noticed that they have the shampoo, conditioner, and shower gel locked into place. They must have known that I was coming, but they didn't lock down the lotion. I'm leaving with souvenirs one way or another. For legal reasons, this is a joke. This is a joke. It's a joke. So, we have come to the last day that I am in this magnificent dojo. It's quite nice. I think by like rich people standards, it's kind of shit, but my poor ass is living fucking large. I mean, the water actually comes out of the faucet all at once, not like spraying in 8 different directions. Already, you've got me. I didn't bring a razor on this trip, and I'm starting to kind of regret it. I actually intentionally didn't bring a razor because I was worried that if I shaved down too much, I would look, maybe this isn't relatable content, but I thought that I would look too young, because normally I do. And since I'm here trying to hunt down a suitcase, I needed people to take me seriously. So far, everybody that I've talked to about this suitcase, I haven't even spoken face to face with, so a lot of good that did. It's fine. So, let's recap, shall we? After the trip in on Saturday, I spent all of yesterday running all over the place and having a great ass time doing it. Okay, let's run it down. So first of all, any hotel that has a complimentary breakfast, you better know that I am just fucking there. I love breakfast. I love it so much. And you better believe I was like carting shit out on plates in my backpack, like just preparing for the day at hand. If only my father could see me now. He's still alive, he's just not looking. He's probably at work, so. Then I spent the first half of the day at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, and That was so fucking cool. If you're in the Denver area and you have the opportunity to go to that museum, you better fucking work, okay? It was so fun. I'm also a slut for museums, libraries, zoos, aquariums, any of that shit. I eat it right up. Unless it's like one of those places where the animals are being kept in shitty conditions, and then I get sad. Thankfully, the Denver Zoo is not one of those such places. The Denver Zoo was lovely. It was well kept. The animals were all where they needed to be. Like, as it's getting colder, they were moved into various indoor exhibits, and some of them still had the option of going outside. It was great. It was really nice, and I just loved wandering around. And another fun fact is that they were actually giving free booster shots and vaccines at one of the cafes, kind of transformed into a makeshift. It almost seemed like an outpost exam tent, you know what I mean? Like it was an actual building, but it very much had that vibe. I was like, oh god, the malaria in this safari is bad. Better go get a needle. And I could see a lot of people turning it down, and I mean, I get it. Who goes to a zoo and thinks, yes, let these animal handlers stick needles in me, but oh no, someone's dead. Just kidding, they're fine. They're just impatient. It's a city, what are you gonna do? I've kind of missed a city in that way. Some parts of me do miss New York, but it was more of a pain than anything. Maybe someday I'll feel differently. Right now I don't. After the Denver Zoo, which was wonderful, again, highly recommend, I headed over to Mile High Comics, and I was not aware that this was the largest comic store in America. Holy shit. The place was fucking massive, and I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. Here's what I mean. I learned at the comic store when I was looking through everything that I am not as big a comics fan as I thought I was, as I used to be. For some reason, I just don't have the attention span to, well, it frustrates me to get one small issue and not know where I am in the series at large. A Google search doesn't really help because there's like countless offshoots, spin-offs, series, reinvented series, revamped series, altered series, variant series of each different story that it gets difficult to track. That I was a little overwhelmed in a weird way. If you love comics though, it's the place for you. Holy shit, whatever you're looking for, you will find and you're gonna love it. And even despite all that, I still loved it. I wandered around and I ended up actually getting, let me show you. Actually, you know what? We'll do a brief souvenir haul as well. Why not? I've got to finish packing, so I've got to take the stuff out of here anyway. So I did end up getting 5 comics in a series that I've wanted to read for quite some time. Ever since I saw them on Young Justice, I really wanted to give them a try. And these are the Forever People. If you know them, you know them. If you don't, check them out. They're fun. The Young Justice episode with them is really fun. And I can't get over how much I love this little cowboy bitch here, Seraphim. I want to do a cosplay of him so fucking bad. It's gonna happen. It is eventually gonna happen. I think I already have a wig that might work. So while I was there, I also got a comic for my friend who is a big fan of Spider-Man. And it's just a bunch of Spider-Man's greatest stories, which is very cool. Again, didn't really appeal to me so much. I'm gonna get some hate for this. I'm not a massive Spider-Man fan. I like him, but he doesn't have that much appeal for me. It's kind of the same issue that I have with Superman, even now that they've made Superman's son bi, and that's awesome, so Superman's bi now. And anybody who has a problem with that can eat my ass, but guess what? Then you're bi too. I'm not the demographic that it appeals to, you know? I'm more interested in characters like Wiccan from Marvel Comics, Scarlet Witch's son, Clarion the Witch Boy in DC. I love Impulse, shit like that. I am much more for the characters that I feel represent me best. And Peter Parker is smarter than me, cuter than me, stronger than me, better than me. Just general, so I can't really relate. You know what I mean? It's not like normally when somebody relates to him, it's because they exhibit a lot of his traits already, and so they identify with the parts of him that they like and aspire to the ones that they don't recognize in themselves. Which is great. That's good. That's what you want. That's why I like Wiccan, because he's a weirdo who ends up being gay and discovers, you know, his magic powers and lineage of sorcery, so really embraces that. And that's fun. And He's really cool. And Clarion the Witch Boy is just like an entity of chaos that walks around being like, what am I gonna fuck up today? Ooh, let's try that over there. And, you know, I feel that in my heart. Impulse, meanwhile, name says it all. He's Kid Flash, but add in a little extra ADHD and... Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. So I don't know. Because those characters are a little difficult to find comics for that aren't... I mean, Clarion really only has the Seven Soldiers. Wiccan doesn't have his own series that I know of. He's just in some of the new X-Men or the young X-Men. I forget. And I tried to find some of his, but I didn't know which ones he was in, so it was kind of a... And with how many X-Men comics there are, especially at that store, I was like, well, we're not gonna... We'll try something else first. And I do want to do that, and I think this is going to be my gateway into getting back into comics, because I've noticed that I started out being a nerd, and like having a lot of nerd friends, and relating to nerd shit, and loving that. Then, as I went into college, I started doing theater. I still had some nerd friends, but not that many. And I was focusing on theater at the time, so like I didn't really have time for nerd stuff. I missed conventions and stuff like that. I didn't really have the opportunity. Then I started making theater my career, and then I discovered drag shortly after that career ended up stalling because of COVID-19. So now I'm in an interesting place in that I'm discovering a new thing that I love very much while trying to keep the other two with me. And it's difficult, especially for the oldest one, because the eldest child has kind of moved on to things without me. And I wasn't there for that. So, and maybe some of you can relate to that. Maybe you have interests that you've outgrown but don't quite want to give up. Maybe you have interests that you want to give up that you haven't quite outgrown. Maybe you never will outgrow them. Or maybe you've already outgrown them and what you're thinking of is actually something else, wearing the costume, just cosplaying as your original interest. It's weird, it's difficult, and I'm getting off topic, but that's what I got from the comic store, and I'm hoping that they will be my gateway back into nerd shit. We'll see. I'm gonna try some anime too. It's been a while. Oh, there you are, found him. Next was at the museum. I just got a simple world map. It's very cool. I saw it and I fell in love with it because it's just so beautifully illustrated. And I've been looking for a world map to hang up in my new place because I want to start marking off places that I actually get to go. And now I have a few more. Also from the museum was one of those little, like the penny pressing machines that put a cool design on it, and I really wanted to do one. So look, it's Saturn. It's a planet. So I very much enjoyed that. And anybody who tells you that you're not allowed to like stupid, childish, cheap stuff, you get them the fuck out of your life. Stat. So next we move on to the zoo. I got my friend this sticker, which is so cute. It's a little lion, and look at the artwork on there. It's so great. I'm gonna do the makeup influencer thing. Did that work? I sincerely cannot tell if that worked. But isn't it cool? It's a lion. It's got like the savannah painted onto it, and that's cool. I think that's cool. Then I also got 3 different postcards. I got this cool one with zebras, because zebras are one of my favorite animals of all time. Because they literally said, let's do horses but make it spicy. Then I got this one with a rhino on it, and it's got the lettering all in there, and that's very cool. Fun fact, my sister used to collect postcards all the time, and then she got rid of them all because she didn't want to do it anymore, and I get that. She's not a very materialistic person, which is good. It made her move all the way across the country to North Hollywood much easier, and I respect her for that. I am not that girl. I can't part with my shit, and I want more shit at all times. So I've started collecting postcards because I was sad that, she kind of stopped doing it because I really liked the postcards that she collected, and now I want to sort of carry on that tradition. So I'm collecting a bunch of them. But then I also found these giraffes in the same kind of style as the zebras. And this one I got an extra copy of because this one I actually want to send, like a postcard, They were like $1 each. It was not terrible. The sticker was like more, which was a little shocking, but I guess I get it. But that's sort of all of the stuff that I have found throughout this trip. I enjoyed the drag show so much. That was actually my first drag show that I've ever been to that I wasn't in. And I've only been to one other one, and I was only in the pre-show, and then I left before the show started because I was... who that is? I was just sincerely uncomfortable by how drunk everyone is. It's not my scene. And what's great about this, so the Mile High Comics all ages drag show, if you have the opportunity, go see it. Holy shit. A, it's so great, and B, it's supporting a great cause. It moved on to the Drew Project, inspired by, well, not inspired, dedicated to one of the victims of the Pulse shooting in Orlando. It was such an inclusive space for drag performers of all ages. There were teenagers, there were kids, like on stage performing, as well as my friend June, who went by Junebug for it because, you know, children, it's a little difficult to talk about titties. They just did a fantastic job. It was so wonderful. The entire show was great. I sincerely would like to be a part of it at some point. I would very much like to. That's the kind of drag that I like, you know? Something that's inclusive and all ages and just celebratory. I've never really vibed with the nightclubs or the bars, and I think this might be the direction I'm gonna take my drag in. Trixie Mattel always jokes that she looks like that she's adult content wrapped up in kids packaging. But she's not for kids. And I'm starting to be a little more like, well, I'm inspired by cartoons, and I like kids. And more specifically, when I was a kid, I could have used something like this. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So that's kind of what we did yesterday. Update on my suitcase. Still haven't found it. Still looking for it. But I'm gonna give it one last ditch effort before I leave on my Greyhound today. It's most likely, however, been shipped from the storage warehouse here in Denver off to the storage warehouse in Dallas, Texas, because that's what Greyhound likes to do. Usually they just ship everything there and then they make it impossible for you to get it back. It's probably gone, but I'm gonna keep trying because that's literally all you can do until you're sure that it won't work. We'll give that a try. Thanks very much for sticking around so far, and I hope you're willing to stick with me for the last leg of this. Hopefully we'll get some startling, effervescent, divine intervention and some great news. But for now, I'm going to go home knowing that I tried my best and I had a good time doing so. I got to meet an online friend of mine. I got to have a really great time in a really inclusive space. And yeah, might be time to move on, and that's okay. I also forgot to mention that in the Denver Zoo, when I got a soda, they gave me this souvenir cup, you know what I mean. Look at how cute it is. I'm keeping it forever. I'm gonna put makeup brushes in it. Goodbye, cool ass bathroom with bomb ass shower. I felt like a fucking princess. Goodbye, badass hotel room with awesome view. Goodbye, downtown Denver. I'm sure I'll be back at some point. And with that, it is time to mosey. Okay, so we're back. So, this is this is almost a full week since finishing that video. I wanted to take some time to sort of collect myself, see where we're at, because I am a weak bitch, and us weak bitches, we need time to process things, reevaluate, reassess, and reflect. You want to be strong, men should probably consider doing the same thing, just saying. If therapy's not available, you gotta take what steps you can. So,
Needless to say, we didn't find my suitcase, unfortunately. We know where it most likely is. All signs point to Dallas. I don't think I'm planning a trip to Dallas anytime soon, but at some point, I have wanted to see Dallas. So maybe someday in the future, if I happen to be in Dallas, I will try and track it down. I'm still doing my best to remain in touch with Greyhound going back and forth. I'm not super hopeful. You know, Greyhound kind of has a reputation for being pretty fucking useless when it comes to recovering luggage, customer service, the usual. I do not blame the employees for that by any means, let me clarify. Those employees have to deal with the worst of us and the worst of their bosses. That entire corporation just needs a lot of work. The people on top don't care about the people on the bottom, people in the middle don't care about the people on the bottom, and the clientele don't care about the people on the bottom. And the people on the bottom have to deal with all of it from all angles. When I got on in the Philadelphia station and I asked for a luggage tag, they didn't make me pay for it, they just handed me one. I could tell that that kid did not give a shit. And who could genuinely blame him? Perhaps that free luggage tag had something to do with my luggage went missing in the first place, but, you know, we can only speculate. So the plan from here on out is to remain in email correspondence with Greyhound in whatever capacity that means. They now have so many different lost luggage claims and submissions and reports and direct emails to corporate from me, so if they can't find it with all of that, it's because they don't want to be quite honest. There is only one more place that it really could have ended up unless somebody physically took it, which is also a possibility. Somebody may have just stolen my luggage, and it is what it is at that point. I hope it serves them well, and if they try to fuck with any of my information in there, well, be prepared for a goddamn fight. But most likely, with my gaming PC, wigs, and makeup, they're not going to be able to do that much damage. There are a few things in there that I was hoping they wouldn't get a hold of, but it's also stuff that I've managed to replace. Just a friendly reminder out there for anybody who didn't know, like I didn't know when I embarked on this journey in the first place, do not check personal information and documents in your checked bags. That shit stays on your person. I know that now. Nobody taught me that before I left because it was never relevant. Everybody's got gaps in their learning like that, so allow me to try and fill one of those gaps for you right now. Don't do that. Stuff in your checked bag should be stuff that you can't carry on. Realistically, I am of the traveling mindset where if I can get away with just a backpack, I will. The only reason I was bringing so much shit is because I was trying to start a new life here. Realistically, I've now figured out that I didn't need all of that to start a new life here. It did make me feel a little safer to have it with me, but at the same time, I felt really unsafe having so much of my life with me. So here's my advice for anybody trying to move long distance or travel often. Genuinely only bring what you need. The stuff that can't be replaced and that you can't part with. You know, important documents, very important sentimental things, but make sure that they are on your person. If you can get away without using a checked bag at all, that's ideal. From now on, I like to just do, if I'm on a plane, I just do my carry-on bag and then like a small suitcase that can fit in the overhead thing. If it's a short trip, like a weekend, I just bring my backpack. Unfortunately, this happened, but on the bright side, I did learn stuff from it. So the best advice I can offer is that when something goes wrong, do your best to fix it, but also make sure that you take something away from it. If nothing else, if I don't get a hold of this suitcase again, I did manage to have a really fun time trying to track it down. Denver is cool. Denver is cool. Downtown Denver is a very interesting place. Mile High Comics is a wonderful, inclusive space with more content than I could read in a lifetime. Their all-ages drag show was so fun, and it was great to meet one of my online friends. If anybody has ever met one of their friends from online before, then you know how exciting that is. The Museum of Nature and Science was so cool, and I would 100% go back. Same for the Denver Zoo, it was very chill. I'd love to go back in like one of their spring or summer months so that I could see some of the animals, you know, having a good time and not just dealing with winter. But ultimately, it was a lot of fun, and I don't regret it. Unfortunately, this was a necessary lesson to learn. I'm just glad that I got off easy. There's only one of 3 massive suitcases and a backpack that I lost. That's not bad for Greyhound, I'll say that much. And they were stuffed to bursting too. And it's not like I didn't get a warning. My parents and all of my friends told me I was bringing too much. I didn't listen. And even right before I got on the bus, the handle snapped off of one of them. If that's not a goddamn sign, I don't know what is. Mistakes happen. You live and you learn. And now I've got to go get ready for work. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I hope you had a good time. I don't know if I'll be posting more videos specifically like this because I haven't lost any other suitcases and I don't have any other trips planned, but if it turns out we gotta go to Dallas, then I'll document that too. We'll see what we can do. Otherwise, I will continue posting drag content and music content, and I will just continue to try and deliver stuff that's worth delivering. I'm going to stick to this format of only making videos when I have something I feel like showing. Maybe we'll do some tutorials. I've been doing a lot of sewing. Who knows? In any case, thanks very much for watching. I will see you all next time, and until next time, for all of you still dealing with the pandemic blues and your general life blues and just blues in general, I would just like to encourage you to keep on fucking trucking, because until next time, it is what it is.